And joining us is a host at Law and Crime Network, also formerly a Morris County, New Jersey prosecutor. You see him all over Fox News, all over TV for that matter. Please welcome Bob Bianchi to the program. Hey, Bobby.
Hi, Bob.
What's going on, guys?
So, Bob, we're going to stay local here for the most part as far as some of these cases that we want to talk to you about, and something we talked about first on WOR Tonight last night with Cooper Lawrence, of course, is this story about a kid a couple of years ago. His coach instructs him to slide into third base, which I played baseball at Wayne Valley in Jersey. I'm pretty sure that's kind of standard. Every coach teaches their players to slide, and now there's a huge lawsuit, 7 figures, parents versus the coach after the kid hurt himself with some permanent injuries, it appears. This, I don't get too angry about too many cases. This one even pissed off my wife because she came running down this morning saying, "Did you hear about this case?" I said, "We talked about it last night. You never talk to listen to our show." Anyway, break it down for us. I mean, does this case have any shot of moving forward and actually getting to a settlement of some kind, Bob?
Well, yeah, these cases are moving forward, and it's in multiple jurisdictions in Jersey. Guys, I'm really upset this is a Jersey case. Whatever happened to Jersey Strong? We're becoming Jersey weak.
Yes.
Are you kidding me now? I used to play baseball, too, in high school. I'll give a plug to my alma mater, Seton Hall Prep.
Ooh.
And they used to train us to slide on pavement.
Oh, jeez.
We had like raspberries and burns and everything. But listen, we now have become the safe spaces. Now we have to have safe bases. So from now on, here's how we go, Cooper, Joe. From now on, if you have to steal third base, if you make that movement, nobody can do anything to stop you. That's it. You just get to take the base. I mean, what is going on here? And what is this? I mean, on a serious note, what is this going to do for coaches in all sorts of sports like gymnastics and wrestling? I mean, you're telling them to do a legal maneuver within the sport. Accidents happen. That is just a fact of life. But everybody's response today is file a lawsuit. And what you do is deprecate or lessen the robustness of the sports. Life is tough. Get over it. Gosh.
So, Bob Bianchi, from a legal perspective, though, I mean, where is the responsibility? Because the kid did slide incorrectly, I guess, because he injured his ankle, and now he's had like 6 surgeries, and one doctor said we need to amputate, and someone else said, no, we can save it. And so this kid is suing the coach and the school. But what about personal responsibility? Who really does have the rights here? Okay,
that's a good question. So legally, it's a negligence case, right? So there has to be a duty of care. I'll get wonky with you for a minute, to a person. It has to be a proximate cause to an injury for something that you did or didn't do that a reasonable and prudent person would have done. So with this case, that's all legal language there. So what this case comes down to is that there is either a failure to supervise or a failure to properly train or instruct, and that is what they're arguing with respect to this. And as a result of the failure to do that, a corresponding injury occurred, and therefore monetary damages should be awarded to compensate the person for that injury. And a jury very well may come back and say improper training, improper supervision, didn't show, it wasn't the right thing to do at that particular point in time. So there's a basis for it because these cases, before it gets to a jury, goes through what they call a summary judgment motion. But that is where the defendants say, hey, judge, you should throw this case out. It shouldn't even be before a jury. But obviously these judges in these multiple jurisdictions in New Jersey are finding that there is a basis to go forward to a jury because that's where we're at right now. So that's the legality of the situation.
Bob Bianchi, host at Law and Crime Network. It was always my dream to coach my son's baseball team, Liam, when I got older, right?
Not anymore.
No, I'm not going to do it because if I'm going to get sued, if a kid gets hurt while he's playing, gets hit by a pitch, and then suddenly before you know it, I got a 7-figure lawsuit coming my way. Yeah, no thanks. Sorry. The dream's over.
Or worse than that, Conch. I mean, and Bob, both of you. I mean, what happens if you say something to a kid that makes him feel bad? Like, oh, you struck out, when that is a fact, but you've hurt his feelings, and now he's emotionally damaged.
If they miss a bunt sign, believe me, they will be on my team. You never miss a bunt sign, Bob. You know that.
Safe bases. Yeah, because you know what? If you go to bunt and you haven't been trained properly and that ball hits you and, in a place that it may be tender or whatever, then all of a sudden you got a lawsuit there. Anytime a kid gets hurt, you have a lawsuit. Safe bases, guys. This is what we need now.
Amazing. Then again, Cooper, I never bunted because obviously you'd be giving away a potential home run. You don't have the power hitters bunt. That's not even remotely true. Anyway, we're talking to Bob Bianchi. So Bergen County, let's go up to my neck of the woods, and there's a country club there that apparently a woman walks in with a purse, and the purse is worth more than my house, I believe.
It's a $30,000 Hermes. It's one of those Kelly bags.
Right, Hermes, right?
Yeah, Hermes, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is at Alpine Country Club, and a waiter spills a little wine onto the bag, and now they want the bag replaced for $30,000. I mean, at what point is there some risk on at least the bag owner for bringing something in public and it gets a little wine on it? Well, that's your fault, I think. Maybe. Am I wrong?
Well, let me start off with what Cooper had said in the previous segment that we just did, that there is some level of personal responsibility you take when you step outside of your house and go into the real world. But I got to tell you, I was at a country club, and they spilled wine on my $1 million shirt, so they should compensate me $1 million. They haven't shown the bag. They haven't shown the receipt. And you know what? If I go out there with my $1 million shirt and it gets damaged in what is an accident, apparently the waiter spilled the wine, could it be a potential lawsuit? Again, we get back to the same standard. Was there a duty? Was there proximate cause? Was it unreasonable to be supervised? Were they not trained properly? What level of negligence does she share for bringing that purse? Where was the purse? What did she do with it? We're going to actually have to have a purse litigation in order to determine whether or not this lady gets paid. But if I were representing the country club, I wouldn't give them a dime. Go to court, make your argument, show your proofs. And if you win, you win. If not, great. Then you lost and you spent a lot of money on a lawyer.
Right, exactly. And the fact that you have a $30,000 bag, I mean, obviously you're going to take that risk. Get over it. I'm on the side of the country club here. We're speaking with Bob Bianchi, by the way, host at Law and Crime Network. And you always see him on Fox News. And you hear him here on our show all the time.
Yes.
So there's another case going on that I love. This woman who's been through 10 divorce lawyers. The divorce has been dragging on for 2 years. They were only married for 14 months. Okay, this is amazing to me. That what judge is allowing this to happen?
Yeah, obviously a judge that's not stepping in. She's going to represent herself pro se. That means by herself. She's not going to have a lawyer at this point in time. I guess the judge probably pretty much had it. But I got to tell you guys, Exhibit 1, if I were representing the husband, Exhibit 1, Your Honor, she has fired 10 of her matrimonial attorneys because she couldn't get along with them.
Great point.
So can you imagine what my
case closed.
Yeah.
Now, Bob, since she is lawyerless right now, maybe she's looking for somebody of your stature to represent her. Maybe you're the one who could tame this shrew. Would you take the case?
Are you a masochist?
I love these topics. I'm going to tell you, I don't practice family law. I do criminal defense, municipal court, and domestic violence, but criminal defense, right? And I always tell people, I would rather represent a guy who purposefully ran over 10 nuns on a sidewalk than handle a matrimonial action. That's how brutal they are.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they fight over stupid stuff like one vase. I've seen these cases where they fight over like a pair of shoes, just things that are so ridiculous.
Not because they care about the shoes, because it's just because you hate the other person so much you want to make them as miserable as possible. Wow. I hope I never get to that point.
They will burn their bank accounts down for all through the litigation. I know I work with a lot of matrimonial attorneys on domestic violence cases, and you just watch these people cutting trees down as their motions and on and fighting over nothing. And then even when it's over, it's never over. So, I mean, it's really 10 lawyers. Wow, that's got to be a record.
Ask me again why I'm not married.
You were. Anyway, Bob Bianchi, we have to leave it there on the 30th anniversary, by the way, of the Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner classic. We're not talking about Romancing the Stone, but, of course, the War of the Roses, which is all about a bad divorce.
Perfect timing.
I think they eventually end up dead at the end of the movie. Hey, spoiler alert. Bob Bianchi, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Okay, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Bob.
And Cooper, when we come back, we have the worst baby names of 2019. Cooper is not on the list.
Neither is Conch, strangely enough.
Neither is Joe, period, because no one names their kid Joe anymore. Anyway, we got that list. Next, 710 WOR.